Let's get into it, man. Josh Sweat returning, you know what I'm saying, on a restructured deal. The Philadelphia Eagles seemingly have found their QB2 for the moment. You know what I mean? I'm going to give my thoughts on that. But let's get into this Josh Sweat thing real quick. So Josh Sweat was able to come to an agreement, a mutual agreement with the Philadelphia Eagles. He was able to restructure his deal, you know what I'm saying, which includes him getting $10 million guaranteed next year. He was entering the deal with no guaranteed money, so they allowed him to be able to shop himself around. I guess he found it more suitable to take some money this year, you know what I mean, restructure things, get a $10 million guaranteed next year, you know what I mean, to stay with his team that he loves so much. You know, it makes sense, you know what I mean, he helped us, we helped him. There it is. Now, with that situation with Josh Sweat, it kind of makes me want to, wonder what's going to happen with this Haason Reddick thing for real. Now, that saves us money. We're able to make something happen now. Maybe we restructure Haason Reddick. I think that's the case. You heard Bryce Huff in his introduction to the team in his press conference say, you know, talking about being paired up with him and Haason Reddick. So who's going to be the rotational guy? You know, I'd rather have Sweat as a rotational guy than have him off of the team. I'll tell you that for sure. So I can expect, you know, I'm hopeful that a Haason Reddick deal gets done. A lot of people are speculating some things around a 2-year extension for Haason Reddick, which will also save us dip cap on this year's hit. So, you know what I mean? I hope they get it done for sure. But, you know, Sweaty coming back, it makes all the sense in the world to me, man. You did go get Bryce Huff, man. This team is looking like they're ready to get after the quarterback again, like we did in the 2017 season, and also like we did in the season where we went to our last Super Bowl 2 years ago. So, yeah, man, it's looking like the Philadelphia Eagles are setting the pace and setting, you know, putting the ducks in a row to, you know, make something happen with the Haason Reddick thing. So we're gonna keep our ears glued to the street for that one, man. Also, man, make sure you get the print champs, man. Big print champs in the building, man. Make sure you go over there, use code BULLY10, get your Ski Mask Howie shirts, get your You're Dead to Me Saquon Barkley shirts, get your Jason Kelsey I Love You shirts. All of that stuff is over there on the website, Big Print Champs. Let's talk about it. So, the quarterback situation. You know what I mean? You got your QB2 for right now. You know what I mean? Russ goes over to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I hear that ruffled the feathers, no pun intended, of a Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett immediately wants out. He doesn't feel like he wants to compete with Russ. He puts up, he goes off, apparently, from what I'm being told. And, you know, Mike Tomlin then decides to deal him. Not only did he deal him, he dealt him to the Philadelphia Eagles. Kenny Pickett grew up in Jersey, big-time Eagles fan. He dealt him over here to us. And the compensation is what I have an issue with this one. I don't have an issue with getting a backup quarterback. You need that. I didn't think Marcus Mariota is great. In fact, not a lot of backup QBs are great quarterbacks. That's rarely the case. But to go out there and spend a top 100 pick on Kenny Pickett makes no sense to me. You know what I mean? We gave up a top 100 pick in this year's draft. So as it stands right now, the Philadelphia Eagles don't have a 3rd-round pick in this year's draft. I guess we see the value in having 2 2nd-round picks. But, man, you could have used one of those 2nd-round picks to move up, to make something happen, and still have a 1st, 2nd, and a 3rd. I just don't understand why we would give up this much compensation for a guy that everybody says has little hands, for a guy that didn't even want to compete. This isn't no competition for Russell Westbrook. I mean, I'm sorry, this ain't no competition for Jalen Hurts, Russell Westbrook. This ain't no competition for Jalen Hurts. Kenny Pickett is a bona fide backup quarterback. A bona fide backup quarterback. And I'm being as fair as possible in my critique. But I don't think Kenny Pickett is very good. I don't think Kenny Pickett is a guy that we should be confident in if he has to come in and take the reins as a starter. He's not a Joe Flacco who I think could get some games and things of that nature under his belt. But I will say this. What Kellen Moore was able to get out of Cooper Rush for those 5 games we had to play, maybe he sees something in Kenny Pickett to where he's able to squeeze something out of him, pause, you know what I mean, get some good games out of him, man. I will be optimistic about it, but on the other side, I can see Kenny Pickett being dealt I can see Kenny Pickett being dealt on draft day. I really can see it happening, you know what I mean? There's still teams out here who could use the services of quarterbacks that actually equate to QB competition. Like, there's no competition for him here. You know what I mean? He would be competition over there in New York. You know what I'm saying? He would be competition for the Commanders. There's no competition over here for Kenny Pickett. He's not going to beat Jalen Hurts out for the job. He's not going to beat a guy like Dak Prescott out for the job. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it. But, you know, in Howie we trust. We're going to always trust the motion with Howie. But that don't mean that we got to agree with everything. We're not yes men over here. We definitely not yes men over here. I understand the magnitude of having a backup quarterback. I just don't agree with the compensation with this one, man. But let me know what y'all think in the comments.